Hey guys, it's me Courtney and welcome to my channel. In today's video we're going to be trying out a bunch of brand new products. I feel like there's just been like one launch after another and sometimes it can be a little bit hard to keep up with. Some of these products I have tried on one or two occasions. Some of them are going to be brand new to me. But yeah, so if you are interested in some of these new products and my thoughts and opinions, please continue to watch. So today's primer, we're going to be using the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. This is the mini only because I did swatch this in store and it's really sticky, but everybody's been saying it's such a good primer, so I am gonna try it out today. It smells a little bit like rubber. Alright, so now I'm gonna go in with the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I think I'm gonna actually go in with the pencil side first since that's the part that I'm the most comfortable with. So the pencil side works really well. I'm gonna swing it around and see what this ink stain side is gonna do. I kind of feel like I am gonna like this, but it's more of like a warm tone brown, as you guys can see. And I like more of like an ash color for my eyebrows, closer to like a blackish brown kind of thing. But the actual performance of it isn't bad at all. And instead I'm gonna use the ABH Dip Brow Gel. I've already used this a few different times, I think, in a few videos. And I actually like it, I just think the wand might be a little bit thick. Alright, so this is the Huda Beauty Neon Obsessions palette. I got the color Neon Orange. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I actually was gonna originally pick up the neon green one, but it just didn't have enough neon green for me and I just didn't feel like the colors would show up on my skin tone. None of these have names, so I'm just gonna point to them. So I'm gonna go in with this color right here, which is like a bright orangey pink color, and I'm gonna put that in my crease. I tried some of the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette like a while ago when she first came out with them and I wasn't crazy about them. So I didn't pick up any of the jewel tone ones, but when I saw she was coming out with the neons, I got super excited. And it's showing up on my skin tone, yay. The next color I'm gonna go in with is like this fuchsia color right here, that bright fuchsia. Put that towards the outer edge. Ooh, that's pretty. And right now I'm just sort of building those colors up, going back and forth in between the two. So I think what I'm gonna do is go in with this sort of, I don't know, is it neon yellowy kind of color? So I'm gonna go in with that kind of on the lid. The glitters, or I think these are supposed to be glitters or shimmers, are a little bit chunky. I'm also gonna take a little bit of this orange color, kind of mix that in there a little bit, or not. I'm gonna try using a glitter glue for the orange shade, and I'm gonna tap it on the center of my lid, kind of going into that pink color. So I did pick up one of the Fenty Beauty, like the trios that she had. I ended up getting the color Baeside. I swatched all of them in store and I feel like these were the most pigmented out of all of them. The one that I actually wanted was the one that had like that lime green color, but it just did not pack enough punch for me. It just felt a little patchy, whereas these were the only ones that were opaque enough. This is Banana Blaze. I think I want to start like in the middle right here. Alright, so I think the problem that people are having with these is it does dry down really quickly. So what ends up happening is as soon as you put your first line down, it's already dry by the time you're like connecting it. So it's making the eyeliner a little patchy. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna try the white one. Okay, so this is about as good as I think this is gonna get, which is unfortunate because I was really excited about these. I know a lot of people had a lot of problems with it, but I don't know, I still wanted to give it a chance. It's already flaking in this part right here. Then the liner on this side start picking up some of the pigment that I put down. so it doesn't look like yellow and white right here. It looks like I did a pink liner and an orange liner, which is kind of weird. All right, so I went ahead and added my lashes, which makes it look a little bit better. So let's keep it moving on to the next thing. This is the Tarte Babassu Foundcealer whatever foundation. It is $39 like the regular Tarte foundations. It does come in 30 shades, and I got the shade 49H Tan Deep Honey. Now this is a more dewy skin luminous foundation. I didn't necessarily want to do an entire video on it just because I don't think a lot of people care about this foundation. I'm not mad at it. I think for dry skin it's pretty good, but one thing I will say, it does not last that long. You see how it's like super like skin-like and dewy? Like, I do really like this foundation. For concealer today, I'm gonna be going in with the Juvia's Place I Am Magic concealer. I do have a actual review of this concealer as well as the foundations coming up soon. So I'm gonna use the Sacha Buttercup. Obviously this one isn't new, but it does work well. I find that like this concealer in general works well with a bunch of different powders. I'm a little on the fence about what to do as far as my contour bronzer situation. I got the Lime Crime Sunkissed face palette. They looked a little bit deeper online, especially this one. I've swatched all of the colors and I love all of the colors except the salty color. On my skin tone, it rings a little bit more grayish. Let me see if y'all can see that. Y'all see that? So I'm kind of in between whether I want to try that as a bronzer or maybe try to use it as a contour shade. Or another option is I also have the Huda Beauty Tantour Contour and Bronzer Cream. I've actually tried this at least twice, but the thing is this doesn't work well on top of powders. So what to do? I'm gonna go in with my Tantour just because I've tried it twice and I liked it. With this one, I like to take the butt of my beauty blender and just sort of tap it in there like that. Get a little bit on the beauty blender. I tap off a little bit of the excess just to make sure it's not like splotchy. And then I like to just bounce it on my cheek or wherever I'm gonna put it. And I don't know, I think the bounce of it all just makes it blend in really, really beautifully. So I think I'm going to try a very, very, very small amount of the bronzer just to see if it works on my skin tone depth. All right, so it is more pigmented than I thought it was going to be on my skin tone, so that is a plus. However, it is still neutral gray-ish in tone. So on my skin tone, it looks more like a contour than it does a bronzer. Even though it's still deepened up and I still look semi-bronze, it just kind of deepened up the contour I already put down, if that makes sense. And I think for blush, I'm gonna go in with this color and then kind of top it off with this kind of pinkish, peachish, highlighty shade. It's like a duochrome. What color do we want to do on the bottom? I was thinking about just doing this, but I kind of want to play with some more of the colors. I think I'm going to go into this color. I'm going to also take this little pinky color right here. Then I'm going to take this fuchsia color, the same one that we did up top, and just put that on the outer edge. I'm gonna go back into my glitter glue. I'm gonna see if I can work this last little pink shimmer like in between these two colors right there. I'm also gonna take like a thin fluffy brush to sort of buff out the edges of those colors. So I'm gonna try to go into my waterline with a white liner and see what that does. And to finish up the eye look, I'm gonna go back into my Lime Crime Sunkissed palette, and I feel like I could probably play with this color on my inner corner. Oh, so pretty. Whoa. For highlighter today, I have the Dior Backstage, what is this, the Glow Face palette. And now I tried this one time, and I believe I tried this peach color, which, well, it's called peach. So I tried this peach color, and it was a little bit bright for me. And I had swatched all of them, and I was gonna be a little bit disappointed in these two just because I feel like they were so bland. I'm assuming that you put it on top of these as like a really brightening sort of topper. I think today I'm gonna mix the two bottom and then kind of go from there. I think I'm gonna use the Glitter Strobe Gold. It's like a white gold color, and I'm gonna see what that does on top. The next thing I'm gonna do is go in with my setting spray. This is the ABH Dewy Set setting spray. This came out with the Riviera palette. I just never got around to like using it. Last but not least, for lips today, I picked up a few of the Huda Beauty Power Bullet lipsticks that she came out with. She has a few new shades. I got the shade Spring Break. Ooh, it goes so perfectly with this look. And I also got the shade Rendezvous right there. Yep, we're going with Spring Break today. Let's do a really quick run through of all of the products. The Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. Overall, my skin does look really good. One thing I will say, I don't know how great this is at blurring out pores. My foundation today looks a little bit more skin-like than usual, so I don't feel like I'm completely blurred out. There are a little bit of my pores that you can see, but not to the point that I feel like it looks disgusting. It just kind of looks like natural skin. So I don't know, I'll have to keep playing with this and I'll let you guys know in a later video how I feel about this. As far as the brow blade goes, I actually really like this. I do. I was gonna say that I wish it had a spoolie on it, but honestly I do like the ink stain with the pencil. I think in conjunction you get a nice natural looking brow. I did notice that the ink stain does hold your brow a little bit. I still went in with the Anastasia dip brow gel, which if you guys haven't tried this, I highly recommend it. I do wish the actual spoolie on this was a little bit smaller. I feel like if it was like half of this, it would work a little bit better. I can be a little bit more precise. But other than that, I think the actual formula of this is awesome, and I really like this brow blade as well. Alright, so as far as the Neon Obsessions palette, I'm gonna try to insert some swatches as well, but I think all of the colors blended really nicely together. The mattes in this palette, they're soft. I don't want to necessarily say they're buttery, but they are very soft. They blend well. As far as these two colors go, I feel like they blended really nicely. I didn't have to work too hard to get the color payoff that I wanted, and I felt like I didn't lose any of the color in blending, whereas these lighter colors, I felt like I had to keep going back in to pack back on. Aside from that, I feel like the colors in this palette are absolutely beautiful. They complement each other really nicely. I'm not a fan of the glitter shimmers. And it's funny because I think this is the same issue that I had with her original Obsessions palette. These two specifically are really chunky glitters that don't show up that well. I feel like they are meant to be more of a topper. If you're gonna get these palettes, I would use a glitter glue. I was able to make the colors kind of show up and blend better with a glitter glue. Altogether, I really love the eye look that I came up with. I love this palette. As far as the Fenty Beauty liners, these, I think out of everything that I tried, were the biggest disappointment. Oh man, I think it's one of those things that from far away I don't think it looks bad. I don't think people are going to be able to tell, but the closer you get, the more you can see it cracking, the more you can see that it oxidizes in some places, the more you can see it's dry and patchy, and oh, it's so unfortunate. I think I would love if they came out with these in singles so that people can actually pick the colors that they want, and redid the formula so that it still has the pigmentation without the patchy, quick drying, cracky mess. If you guys like a very dewy skin-like foundation, I think that this would be perfect. I don't think it is a foundation that is long lasting. I kind of mentioned that already, but I do actually like this foundation for just light makeup days that I don't feel like putting on like everything, but maybe I just want a clean base. Let me know if you guys did want an entire review on that foundation. Alright, so the Juvia's Place concealer, as you can see, it's very full coverage. Every powder that I've used with it works really well. So far, really liking the Juvia's Place concealer. All right, so as far as the Tantour contour and bronzer cream from Huda Beauty, I love this. I feel like it gives a very natural look once you kind of figure out how to use it. It dries pretty fast, so you are gonna have to work in sections and kind of use swift motions to kind of pounce it in like you guys saw me doing. I feel like it just blends the color into the skin really well. I did get the color medium. I do like this one specifically because it leans a little bit more warm, neutral kind of, whereas the rest of them seem a little bit more cool tone, so it's more of a contour than it is a bronzer, if that makes sense. All right, as far as the Lime Crime Sun Kissed Face palette, we'll talk about this color in a second, but I really like the palette. Again, I'm gonna try to leave some swatches in there. I do love how vibrant all of these colors are. If you do have a deeper skin tone, I do feel like this color is a good color. Ooh, it's a nice bronzy tone for deeper skin. Ooh, that's pretty. If you tend to like more of a icier sort of highlight, then this color will be right up your alley as well. All of them are super pigmented, super metallic. I feel like this color will work for a multitude of skin tones. I think it's just important to use a light hand with it, just because if you go in too heavy, again, it may be a little bit too stark of a color on a lot of skin tones. Now, as far as this bronzer, when you look at it in the pan, it doesn't look like much. When you swatch it, it didn't look like much of my skin. Like, I swore it was going to be gray, and it does lean a little bit more neutral than I like my bronzers to be, but I will say it is buildable, so you can get a fair amount of color in it. If you are maybe, I want to say, one shade deeper than my skin tone, I think you'll be able to get away with it as a contour or a bronzer. But any deeper than that, I feel like I don't think that this color would be worth it for you, if that makes sense. The rest of the palette, I think we're working pretty well as far as different skin tones, but this color right here is a little bit too tricky for me to say that it would work. Does any of that make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense, but the rest of the palette I'm really happy with. As far as the Dior Backstage Glow Face Palette, I like it when I mix these two colors together, and I like these as toppers. Anything else, like trying to do them separately on my skin tone, it did not work. If I just wear this shade, it's a little bit too deep. If I just wear this shade, it's a little bit too light. So I think the palette works well in conjunction with one another. Honestly, if I'm going between this one or the Sun Kissed palette, I feel like I like the Sun Kissed palette's pigmentation and diversity a little bit better than this one. So I say if it's between the two, I would go with this one. But I guess it's more so preference. I'm still gonna use this one. I'm just more impressed with the Lime Crime palette. The ABH Dewy Setting Spray, it definitely did its job. I feel shiny and luminous. I don't feel like it sets your makeup in the way that the Urban Decay All Nighter does, where it sort of sinks into the skin and everything feels smooth to the touch. Like, to me, the Dewy Setting Spray still, like, it's still tacky. And it could just be that, like, the Milk Hydrating Primer is a tacky feel on top of the Tarte foundation, which is a little bit of a dewy foundation, and then the Dewy Setting Spray, everything together is making my skin feel sticky. I do like the setting spray. I feel like it has its time and its place, but not necessarily for every day. All right, and as far as the Huda Beauty Power Bullet Matte Lipsticks, I really like these. They're super pigmented. My lips are soft, comfortable. The color is on there, but it is still transferable, so you do want to be careful with that. But I do feel like the pigmentation is there. Yeah, so highly recommend that. All right, guys, that about does it for me. Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully it wasn't just me rambling a bunch of stuff. I am trying to get back to my Tuesday, Thursday schedule. No telling when that's actually gonna happen. My kids are out of school, so just bear with me. But in the meantime, go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if the mood suits you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.